Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tuned. You guys saw in the last video I showed you around my 2016 Dodge Ram EcoDiesel, and today I'm actually going to see what kind of power it makes on the dyno. It's completely stock, nothing's done to this truck. I just wanted to maybe show some horsepower on my chassis dyno, and maybe you guys can make a buyer's decision if this truck is right for you or not. It is plenty capable pulling. I pull, full 24-foot enclosed race trailers with this truck. It doesn't even blink an eye. Like, you wouldn't believe it. Claims on this truck are like a little over 200 horsepower, 250 horsepower, something like that, and like 400 foot-pounds of torque. But man, it still pulls awesome. Like, honestly, this truck pulls better than my Duramax did, and I ain't shitting you. Just for like, maybe not power-wise, but just like overall just pulling, it just feels great, pulling even heavy loads. So if you guys do not know, this truck has a 3.0 liter EcoDiesel engine. So it's a V6 turbocharged diesel. It has like all the factory, everything on it. It's got factory airbox. I haven't touched this truck. I just drive it and I love it. So super cool. I don't know even what kind of boost they run stock. I might put a boost gauge in it at some point. Just to, have a gauge. I think it'd be kind of cool, but no idea even what kind of boost it makes. It does have an issue right now though, where I said this truck had no issues, and I never had an issue, but it does have a slight exhaust leak, and it tends to squeal exhaust right after the filter on the exhaust. There's a DEF filter, and they're common to actually have exhaust leaks right at the DEF filter on the exhaust. I just haven't fixed it yet. It squeals a little bit when you get into boost. It kind of sounds like a dead chipmunk under the hood. But my Ford EcoBoost did the same thing when it had a cracked exhaust manifold. But these trucks are not very common for the exhaust manifolds to crack. They tend to just rot out the bolt on the exhaust down there, which you should fix as soon as possible, because you don't want to have that exhaust spinning around all the wiring and stuff under the truck. So I'm going to get to that very soon. But yeah. The only thing that I've ever done to this truck is change oil. I run 5W40 Schaefer's oil. I don't know if I have a jug out here or not. I do. I'm going to show you what kind of oil I use. I change the fuel filter and oil filter regularly with Wicks. I run Wicks filters in pretty much everything I own. And I also run Schaefer's engine oil in pretty much everything I own as well. So this stuff is the OTR Plus full synthetic diesel engine oil, 5W40. Love it. It's green. It must mean go, and it must mean it's good, right? Side note, I run Schaefer's in a lot of high performance race car stuff that we do, and tend to have a lot better bearing life and a lot better just overall oil temperature. Oil doesn't break down as fast. You get what you pay for sometimes when it comes to engine oil. If I wasn't running that, I'd probably run like a Rotella T6 or something, but I like to stick to the stuff that has treated me good over the years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing, and Schaefer's has saved my ass numerous times on stuff that was, not the best. So a good oil can sometimes band-aid a shitty motor. Everybody says this thing is a shitty motor, but I haven't had any issues over the last 25,000 miles. So we're gonna see what kind of power she makes. Let's get to it. I've never dynoed a diesel truck in my life, so this will be a first. I'm going to set the tachometer for the dyno at 2,000 RPM, and I'm gonna try to get the truck in like third or fourth gear, and then I'm gonna lock the dyno to match the RPM of the truck. Because this is an automatic transmission, we have to set our tacho to here, and we don't have a spark signal on the truck, so like we can't hook up a spark plug wire to this thing to get RPM signal. So I'm gonna eyeball in the truck about 2,000 RPM. I'm gonna hit enter on the dyno to match roller speed to engine RPM. That should give us a pretty close rule of thumb. I do it on pretty much every car I dyno. So yeah, let's get to it. We're gonna set 2,000 RPM here. We're gonna get in the truck and try to lock in a gear ratio depending on what gear I decide to go with. It felt in the truck, it felt like third gear was gonna be the ticket, just depending on how the load feels. I'm gonna shut the hood because I don't think this thing will let me drive if the hood's open. And it's cold enough outside, I'm not worried about temperatures of the thing running too hot or anything. So let's try this. I'm gonna get this thing fired up. One thing I really enjoy about this truck is it always comes to life, no matter how cold it is outside, whether I plug it in or not. I've started this truck in negative 30 degree Fahrenheit temperature, not wind chill. I've started it negative 30 without plugging it in or anything. And I've remote started it from my house and it fires up every time. They have like a heated tank and stuff like that, or it has like a blanket on the fuel tank, and the engine bay is really well insulated, so the heat tends to stay in the engine bay. So I got my ABS lights on and stuff because I'm rolling on the dyno with it's tripping out the ABS and the traction control and all that stuff. So I gotta turn the traction control off. Okay, so traction control's off. Second, that's third gear. Third gear going about 20 miles an hour. We're going to try to go to our gear. All these fucking lights are coming on in here. So now we're in manual 5. I don't know if it's going to automatically shift on me. That's the problem. I'm going to try to keep it here in like third gear. And hopefully it won't shift. So we're right around $3,000 in, or right around $2,000 in third gear. So I'm going to set the dyno real quick. I'm going to hit enter. All right, so our tack is now all synced up on the dyno out there. So we're gonna give it a run. I'm gonna see if it's gonna downshift or what it's gonna do. I'm gonna try to start the run at like, you know, 1500 or something. We're logging. That run was definitely really short. We might have to do fourth gear. All right, so now I'm in fourth gear. I'm gonna try that same thing. We're gonna see if we got a power figure from fourth gear. Still got good oil pressure. That's good. We might even have to do like fifth gear. So I'm gonna look at the dyno curve, see what it looks like real quick. See if we need a little bit more load, because it definitely seemed like the run was a little bit short. With this 8-speed transmission, I don't know what gear is actually 1-to-1, so we're just playing it easy with it to see what we got going on. So it looks like fourth gear made more power than third, 158 horsepower to 198 horsepower. So in fourth gear, we have 198 horsepower and 246 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. I'm going to redo these runs because I don't think those are quite accurate. And I'm going to set up the tack to run in, we'll try 6th gear, 5th or 6th, and see what we can get then. And I'll film from outside of the truck this time. Yeah, I definitely still got to step up the gear in the truck. I think I did 5th gear that time, and it probably would like 6th gear to get the turbo loaded up a little better. So I might do one more, maybe in 6th gear, so we can get a good accurate number. We want to have a good load on the turbo so we can get it spooled up. All right, guys, I finally got the gear that I want to run the dyno in, and I think it's going to give me the best results, the most accurate results. 6th gear, we're running about 95 miles an hour, almost 100. and she's getting a little spicy, you know. We don't want to run her too high, mile an hour, but if we keep her under 100, I think we're all right. We did make 209 horsepower with this truck to the wheels. This big old boat only has 209 horsepower. That is funny, but I could care less, guys. It still gets out of its own way with 362 foot-pounds of torque. So you can see here, peak torque is right around 2,700 or so. Ignore these other two runs because I didn't have the truck in the correct gear. So these numbers are not accurate. These are. So peak power was 3,400. Peak torque was around 2,700. And this is what the power curve is looking like. This is torque. This is horsepower. So the horsepower comes up and it just flat lines pretty much the entire way. Torque peaks and then falls off. So we're gonna do one more so you can hear how good it sounds on the dyno, even though it probably doesn't sound like anything. It sounds like a freaking vacuum cleaner. But yeah, we're gonna do one more for you guys and see if we can back that result up. All right, guys, so the first run, it's still downshifted on me down into 5th gear. And the second run, I just eased into the throttle a little bit more and it stayed in 6th. So hopefully the second run that we did should be fairly close to the 209 or whatever it made the last time. It actually made 214 horsepower. So scratch the one where it downshifted. This is the next run that I just did, that you guys saw, and it made 214 horsepower, so, and a little bit less torque. I think because it was loaded a little bit harder, it made a little bit more boost, like up in this region. But yeah, I mean, the picture of the curve is about there, and we have a baseline for this truck to know where it's at. 214 horsepower and about 360 foot-pounds of torque. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna actually show you guys a data log. It smells like cat urine in my shop now because of this exhaust fluid. You guys let me know what you guys think DEF smells like. It literally just smells like cat piss. I did get a data log because this truck actually, you can read the information on HP Tuner with it. So you can see we did hit a max boost of about 270 kPa, right about where we made peak power. So 270 kPa is... it's about 25 pounds of boost. So for a stock truck, 25 pounds of boost, that's pretty cool. I'm really happy with this truck, guys. I don't really want more power or anything like that. I would like to see if I can maybe do some maintenance on this thing to see if I can get some better fuel mileage out of it. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't really need more power. Honestly, it's the transmission gearing and everything in this truck is awesome. So this little bit of power that it does have actually goes a long way. So I'm pretty happy with it. The old EcoDiesel, you know, my Honda Civics make more power than this thing, but it's not a drag racer. It's a going to town rig, pick me up some snacks, and pick me up another Honda Civic with this thing. It's awesome. I love it. If you guys enjoyed this little random video of my EcoDiesel, leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new, and we will see you later. God bless. Have a great night and a better tomorrow. See ya.